Hi, welcome back to Chess for Sleep. Jumping on chess.com this afternoon, going to take a look at a few of the games that are going on by some top players. Really appreciate everyone that watched my last video, commented on the Lead Chess titled arena for February. Really appreciate the feedback I've been getting from people. If you're watching this video, I'd really love people could just let me know, what kind of content they like seeing on the channel. I'm currently 2,000 in Blitz, and my main goal right now in terms of my playing is trying to reach 2,000 in Bullet as well. So I've been playing a lot of Bullet. Probably not as good maybe for the kind of the sleep aspect of the channel, providing kind of relaxing chess commentary when you're having some intense Blitz battles yourself. But I'm happy to respond to what people like to see. So I'd appreciate it if you just leave me some feedback. But this afternoon, let's watch some games from some top players. So looks like maybe Hari Krishna is done. So let's check out some other top games here. Who do we have? Any other big dogs? I'm not sure who these two players are, but we've got a couple of GMs playing some 5-2, so let's check it out. Mikhail Antipov. Let's see. Not sure on the opening here. White is down a piece, and in exchange he has a pawn and a bit of an initiative. The knight is we're now seeing that knight is pinned to the queen. It's attacked by the pawn, so white's going to get the piece back. I'm not sure why we're not just seeing d takes e5 right away. The pin is still there. If black captures on d4 with the pawn, we're going to see white recapturing with the pawn to attack the knight, but the problem is the bishop is then hanging here on c2. So white has to take right away. Now, we see the battery here lined up on h7. So white definitely has pressure with the bishops. Black is looking passive. These pieces all just kind of chilling out, huddled around the king. Evals has about equal. Black doesn't immediately have any huge problems. There's inviting the trade, but that trade looks a little sus. Pieces just don't look coordinated for black after this trade. But is it actually lethal? It might not be enough that white wants that. Ew, I don't know about giving up the bishop pair there. We're seeing some trades. Now this endgame is, not much here in the endgame. So black's fought his way back in this one. Black is Aryan Chopra. Okay, I've heard of Aryan Chopra, I think. One of the many excellent Indian grandmasters in the world currently. So, how is white going to squeeze something out of... well, at this point, I still maybe like white just a little bit, but with the bishop pair, if white doesn't cook up something immediately with a bishop pair, it's going to be very hard for white to win this. If he trades the bishops, it's I think that's favorable for black all of a sudden, the bishop versus knight in game. The king is I can't hide from the rook. White's active with the rook, so I don't really see, as long as the rooks stay on the board, we don't get to this pure bishop knight in game. White should be fine, I think, but at this point, I'd rather be black. All right. So, obviously threatening to win the pawn. Where's the knight going is the problem for white here. C2 to B4 doesn't really do much. G4. Problem is the rook's coming to E2. Do you give up the... I think you give up the pawn here. You just don't move the knight. You give... Yep, exactly. You give up the pawn. Then you take on B5. If rook takes on E3. Then you're guarding your weakness on B2 as white. So I think... Yeah, black doesn't go for that. And this is just an equal in game now. I wouldn't be shocked to see just a draw offer here, but it's a big time advantage for black, but white would really have to get reckless here to really be in risk of losing this one, so. But let's see what they do. Yeah, you don't want the exchange as white. It doesn't benefit you unless you think the king and pawn game is winning, which I don't, yeah. Oh, but this is still not winning. But yeah, found a nice simplification there. I was thinking just keep the rooks on the board and just sit, but even better if you have a quick simplification. That was a nice spot there. And draw. All right, well, not the most exciting start to the session here. Just saying if we have some other games to check out. Oh, I thought that was GM and GM. That's GM and CM right there. Okay, well, might have to hop on over to let's see, another game. Well, let's check out this battle of French titled players nonetheless. We got... Alright. Queen's pawn. Yeah, so it's kind of a Kala system turning into a stonewall setup for white. Trade bishops there. White's often trying to trade off the bishop in these types of setups. Put your pawns on dark squares here. Bishop on light squares. Got this knight looking good. So white's pretty comfortable here. Kingside attacking possibilities for white, although the queens come off. So now it's all about this bishop long term, I'm thinking. Yep, exactly. Trade off the knights. Now it's just a pure good bishop versus bad bishop scenario. So, yeah, it's actually a pretty good kind of textbook way to play this type of opening. It's not a big advantage for black, and the position's very blocked. We might not actually see another decisive result, but it's just risk-free for white, and he's the only one with the winning chances with a better bishop. So yeah, this is how I like to play chess, to be honest. You find if you can simplify it to a very clear, even a small edge, and you base your whole strategy around what that small advantage is. It helps kind of with your decision making, helps focus you, and it's minimizing risk, which I'm big on as well. So the king is coming forward, and white's going to open it, and then we're going to get some infiltration on the H file, which, I mean, the engine says it's equal, but I don't really see how white's infiltrating here, so likely is just equal here. Ooh, interesting. Black opening up the queen side. White may have not thought that black could afford that and not be at risk themselves, and I'm not sure black really can do much without losing the g-pawn or... And yeah, white now just coming back, so... As bad as this bishop is, yeah, it's not really a problem in terms of black losing the game now. Interesting. Giving up the pawn. Not sure he meant to do that. The engine says it's still totally equal. Obviously this move is about the bishop coming here to win this bishop. Oh. Now that's a nice move by white. At this point, more winning chances with the connected passers than by holding on to the rook. The problem is this rook is just well placed to keep white from doing much of anything, promoting these pawns, so that's why you see the equal eval here. So, possibly another draw. Sorry about that. Yeah, probably another draw, but oh, now black is gonna try. Ooh, yep. Black. Ooh. Black just needs to get over here and harass these pawns a bit. Is he going up? Oh. Wow. Yep. That, okay. I guess that was black's plan the whole time, was to force the king to eventually block the bishop, or force the king over to a2 and be cut off. I think either of those results would have been good, and so now, yeah, it's obviously over. Really? Wow. Oh, no. I think black lost his chance to win. Yeah, black needed to make sure to get these pawns, because now this is kind of a stalemate situation up here with white. But yeah, oh, I'm forgetting where. Sorry, I'm forgetting we don't have an increment here. Wow, so black ends up winning it. Nice game for black. Yeah, I was just thinking we were still on the increment there, but that was actually really interesting in game in the end. So, let's watch this one again. See him with the scalp there. Let's see. We're getting another Kala type setup. This is the last one transposed into a stone wall. This is just a straight Kala, basically. Played it myself and got really bored with it. Play the English these days, which I find is offers more interesting possibilities while still being pretty low risk. So I'm really happy with the English right now. But the Kala is not a bad opening at all, especially blitz. You're out there if you're thinking about an opening for white. I mean, you don't see the Kala. I mean, you see the London, for instance, more than the Kala, and the Kala is still a nice option. Not the most exciting. There's the Zucker Tort variation, I think, where you get b3 and the bishop coming out to b2 is an interesting variation of the Kala. But anyway, let's get into the game here. Black already with a big advantage. Yeah, white center is crumbling here. Yeah, black pressure down on the central files, and yeah, nice move too. So just suffocating white now. Not looking too good for white. The GM is getting some revenge here, and nice move. That's a nice move by white. I like this move because at this point you just have to go for complications. So I like that. I know the engine says it's totally lost, but you got to do something here, and I think that was not a bad little kamikaze attempt there. See, I mean, yeah, especially for weaker players, you could totally go wrong defending this in a 3-0 game. So I like it. Black should hold this. This pawn is still a huge problem. So not looking great. I'm not feeling good about White's attempt here against a GM, but again, for mortals, this would be a nice attempt by White to get back in the game. Yeah, queen coming to defend. This bishop is a very nice piece. After, yeah, Black is consolidating, and yeah, I'm gonna have to worry about the bishops. Yeah, probably better. Black had better here, but trying to force the queen trade isn't bad. White has to avoid it now. Ooh. Yeah, I was gonna say just taking. Yeah, there's nothing for White here. Takes, and GG, as Hikaru would say. White will win. Oh, the bishop, but yeah, this is looking pretty bad. Black's just up a rook, and yeah, there's no attack on the king and this pawn. Yeah, you can go ahead and play d2 here and win the knight. You might as well keep the pawn around. Rook d8, king here. We're a little worried about the king, you know, could there be stalemate possibilities? Yeah, just bring it back. There's no need. He could have played d2 earlier, I guess, but at this point, we're just seeing cleanup duty anyway. Eventually the rook's, now the rook's going to come out, and we're going to see rook d1, king, yep, got to go there, otherwise you drop the knight. That is mate, or would have been mate. Okay. A couple of good games though, both really interesting games. Let's see if we get a best of 3 with these guys. Who's the GM? Pierre Laurent Paoli? Paoli, in Italian. Are we gonna get one more? GM just wanted to even this score and bounce, I guess. Which I understand. Oh, Deadeye is back in it. Let's see what Deadeye's up to again. Aryan Chopra, that's right. Okay. And Black is totally winning here. It's kind of a chaotic position right off the bat, but yeah, White was... Well, yeah, this knight is going, and that's about it. Black's going to be up a clean piece here very shortly. So, sorry about that one. That was a short one. Any other interesting games to take a look at? Maybe this GM-IM matchup. Yeah, 5-2. Let's take a look at this one. We'll see if they play another one. Obviously, this one's wrapping up. Whoa. I thought it was wrapping up. Yeah. White is back in it all of a sudden. Let's see. This pawn is falling, but now you split. Yeah, now you take the knight, or you force the knight away. You take this bishop, or drop this pawn, which is what happens. Yeah, you gotta be worried about this pin. Black takes here. And if takes here, this pawn is scary, but is it winning? Not clear. I think you go for it and you hope that this pawn is not winning. Interesting. I don't like the side defense there. I think you need a rook b2 there. Oh, well, now this looks drawn. Yeah, king's going to attack the rook. You're going to win d5, and that's going to be now an easy draw. Yep. Yeah, white may actually, with these double pawns, I could even see white winning a pawn in the end and still have a draw, but this is very dead. But let's see if they play another game after they're done with this one. So. All right, and draw. Yep. All right, we'll see if they play another one. If not, we will move on. And looking like maybe they won't, so. Who else do we have? How about another GM? Kintoho, another French GM. And equalish in-game with the pawns for black down the exchange. Let's see how a GM grinds out this win. I definitely like white to win this. In blitz, as a GM, I think we might see white ganging up on the queenside pawns here. If black just sits with the rook, if you trade off the rook eventually, I think white's going to mop up these pawns. So white's going to try and trade off rooks and then clean up on the queen side and leave at least one pawn on the queen side for white. That would be the winning. Oh, where's this rook going? If the rook goes here, you attack with the king, and this knight's under attack. That's game. Nice find for white, as predicted. And we'll see it again. Okay, good. Good to see a rematch here. Let's look at it from the GM's perspective again. So we are getting a G3 opening. I think it's called the Banco opening, and this is what I play. I played the C6, D5 setup, bishop F5. Sometimes I actually take this knight with the bishop. Sometimes I play bishop G4 and just take it, but I sometimes struggle in this system, even though it's not like brilliant for white. So I'm kind of curious to see exactly like how a really strong player shows us how to prove that this isn't so great for white. Obviously, it's not bad for white, but I'd like to see how this system is played really, really well. So let's see how this GM does it. Interesting, we're seeing a lot of time spent. Oh, actually, got a bad connection. In fact, it looks like he disconnected. That is a shame, because I was looking forward to seeing. He was at 1 bar, so I think this, yeah, maybe a genuine connection issue. That's a shame. Well, I guess we'll never know how a strong player plays this opening now. All right, back with the Aryan Tari. Let's see how Aryan's doing. A lot of you may know Ari Tari. He's the number 2 in Norway these days. He was junior world champion not too long ago. Good friend of Magnus Carlsen. Yeah, can't really speak too much about his actual gameplay. Watched him play in a few tournaments, but seems like a nice guy, and it's cool to see Norway having another strong up-and-comer to go along with Magnus. Obviously, John Ludwig Hammer has been around a long time, but yeah, so yeah, black is in a little bit of trouble, so let's see how Aryan comes back here. Yeah, these pawns are looking menacing for white. Obviously, this pawn needs support. If you're white, I don't think you want to trade the bishops here. We're gonna. Just wondering if we're gonna see the bishop come over to attack the rook. Yeah, just centralizing here for white. Probably seeing the other rook come over to d1. Although maybe you want to keep this rook around on to push some of the queenside pawns here. Yeah, black always has to babysit. You can't really go well, you could go c4. White's going to have 2 isolated pawns, but black would have this pawn that will forever be isolated after the en passant capture. So, yeah, these are really informative kind of games here. Like, how does a strong player kind of claw back with white having this nice, comfortable edge with these pawns? Yeah, how do you fight back? Inviting the queen trade, so that's one way. I'm not sure how much that helps black here. This pawn is still a huge liability. You don't have the queen pressurizing the pawn anymore, but white can definitely just still win this pawn at some point. And while black's babysitting this pawn, white's also going to support these pawns coming down the board. So now we might see a c5, a5. Yep, and so black is trying to get out ahead of that pawn storm here. Are we going to see... I'm wondering if we're going to see c5 to push the rook back. You don't really, I guess, want to go c5, b6, and then you're connecting the pawns here. So how does white advance? Let's see. So I guess just a5, b6, and yeah, bottom line, you want your own protected passer on the outside here on the 6th rank for white. Eventually that pawn on b6 will be very dangerous. But black is holding for now fairly comfortably. Not really a huge threat to lose the game here immediately, but black also just doesn't have an active plan, which is never very fun. So hope you're having a good Friday wherever you are. Hope you have maybe some nice weekend plans ahead, or maybe you're just going to chill out and relax. Whatever you're up to, I hope you have a great time. I hope you're well. Wish you the best wherever you're at in life, on your journey. Be well and treat yourself well. I think that's important for all of us. So, all right. So white's plan is to use the king to support these pawns moving up the board, and maybe eventually see c5 play, the king coming up, maybe trying to trade the bishops off first, and the king comes to c5 and then attacks the pawn, or c4, I'm sorry. That's my prediction for what white is going for. Yep. Okay, so pawn coming up. Eventually, I think we'll see this bishop come to oppose this bishop here. Yeah, just beat, I think just g3. Get these pawns on dark squares. It's another long-term problem for white. Obviously having all these pawns on light squares is not what you want in this light squared bishop. Well, could eventually be a light squared bishop ending where that would be a problem. Yeah, I think rook trade is fine. Same plan. I think white can play rook e1 and offer the. I think the trade would be good for white. Bringing the king away, but I think the king can just walk back up and comfortably come to attack. This pawn is just forever a liability, so I think white can take the e-file, or maybe white will just push this pawn eventually. Yeah, I think that's probably the plan now. b6. Yeah, try and get the two outside passers. They'll be more advanced than black's. So, yeah, I think that's two plans for white. Either coming back, just offering the rook trade, taking the center, moving the king up, and eventually winning this pawn, or just going right away. Okay, I think black sensed that was the plan and took there. So now we've got the two passers. This should be really impossible to stop. White's giving up the queen side, but yeah, pretty much means that white's going to queen before too long. C6 here. C6, yep. C6. Bishop obviously can't get over. King can't come over. You're losing the bishop. The rook is not going to be doing much. Just king c3 of rook g2. So this is looking, I think, fairly simple. I don't see Aryan pulling this out. Yeah, I don't see any plan to even make this complicated or hold it at all. Just, yeah, now the king can potentially come over if the rook were to move. Yeah, in the meantime, bishop c8 is a sad move, but what else? And that's going to be game. Yeah, go ahead and, yeah, resigning would be acceptable, I think, but yeah, at least winning this pawn, and now you're thinking maybe one day you can get one of your past pawns going, but the problem is that white can also clean up this a7 pawn and then add another passer here. Oop. Might have to, I'm not big on arrows for like a relaxing atmosphere. I think arrows are a little bit stressful, but I meant to draw an arrow there, and I'm seeing that it's not the same as on lead chess, so I'll have to, I'm actually not sure offhand how to do it. I'll have to figure that out. Alright, cleaning up here, yep. As long as these two pawns are on the board, I guess Aryan's gonna play it out a little bit, but yeah, rook d2 there was also winning to just win this pawn. Thing is, for black, I mean, the reason you don't resign in this position, even as a GM, I mean, again, rook and bishop versus rook is a draw, theoretical draw, so it's two pawns versus two pawns. If the pawns are somehow traded, you know, you could stumble into a drawn rook and bishop versus rook in game, but so yeah, that's what black's going for. I mean, there's just no way for black to achieve that. That's the problem. But that's why you know, arguably you should never resign. But you know, as a GM, I think there are appropriate times to resign. But I think until both of those pawns are gone, it's not totally a guarantee that you should. So. Can't stop this pawn from promoting, so that's going to be game. D7, C7, C8. Guess we're, yeah, not time for, well, he could have just left it. Yeah, I'm not, obviously bishop moved for this maneuver. You could have left it there and done, I think the maneuver I suggested was fine too, but I guess this isn't as good. Not sure exactly why. Yeah, I don't. I guess you're. No, I don't see it. I think that was fine too. So. All right, Ariantari goes down. It's an interesting game. If Arian's not playing right away, let's check out another GM battle. And let's see if White can find a way to draw this. Yeah, the pawns are just too far advanced to even hope to win one and then draw the rook and pawn in game. So let's see if we get a rematch here after this one wraps up. H7. H7, E7, first E7, or sorry, E2. That's game. So let's see if we get a rematch here. Maybe not. Alex Rustamov. I remember if any of you watched the Chess Explained channel back in the day. I remember Chess Explained having some duels with him, and I think he's from Belarus. Oh, I was clicking the flag to see. Sorry about that. I was clicking the flag to see if he was Russia or Belarus. I think he's from Belarus. So, anyway, yeah, strong GM. So let's see how he pulls out this fairly equal-looking middle game with bishop or opposite colored bishops, but the rooks are still on, so it's not a draw yet. Really don't see it. I don't see how this quickly shifts, but Black has to babysit this pawn. White's always defending it. Yeah, these double pawns. Yeah, the two white pawns are stopping the three black pawns. So, yep, White can sit forever here. So really no way for Black to push this. So a draw, probably not a bad result for Hotel BTF, although their rating is not too far apart. All right, so Black does, yeah, so we have this pawn gone now for Black, and that does free him up a little bit. I still don't see how Black enters with this. I think this is, yeah, I wouldn't think there's much for Black here, but the rook needs to infiltrate. The black rook has to infiltrate for Black to have chances here. So if he goes to the G file, you get rook G2. So I'm thinking rook E2 here. And if I have a rook G8, he can just move over to G2 with the rook. And Black's never infiltrating. Uh-oh. Disconnect. Excuse me. It's a sad way for this game to end. Yeah, Yeah, a couple of anticlimactic endings for this session, but that's okay. We move on. Let's check out Blitzstream and Vladimir Zakartsov. Yeah, this white's rook looks active on the 8th rank, but it's black's rook that is really going to town. And that's going to be... Oh, mate in 1. Mate in 1, rook here. He is missing his... Oh, man. Funny that he just missed that mate in 1 so many times. And eventually the queen mates on the same square. He just had rook d4 the whole time, but easy to miss that in a fast time control situation. So, yeah, we keep jumping into these games near the end. Let's go check out Alex again here at the beginning. Alexander Rustamov, so get a French defense, exchange variation, symmetrical. Played this for many years as my response to e4. It has a reputation, I think, as a lot of us know, of being very stale, but it depends how it gets played. This particular variation is not the most exciting one, but again, a GM who probably doesn't mind an in-game, it'll be interesting to see how he outmaneuvers white here. So, all right. So, yeah, sometimes in the exchange variation, you just see the rooks trading off on the e-file, the queen's coming off, and you get to a minor piece in game relatively without a lot of fireworks. And we're probably going to see these rooks coming off before too long. The rook's covering e7 for now, so we're not getting any infiltration. I'm guessing the knight is well placed on d6. It also supports rook e8 to trade off. The rooks, white's gonna not go for the trades right away. Yeah, now we're gonna see the trades. I think rook e8. No, not rook e8. Just, yeah, leave one rook on. It's not really super dangerous for white to have the one rook on the e-file. Symmetrical structure, the one open file, it's... Again, this is why a lot of people don't like the French defense, is you get these types of exchange variations. But, I mean, it's not totally dead. The knights are not bad in this position that's not very open. Yeah, white has the bishop, but it's not really a huge advantage. White has good squares for the knight. This bishop always has to babysit f4. That would be a great square for the knight. So yeah, now white's kind of groveling to trade off this strong knight. We do see that, but now, again, it's really not much for white, for white. So as black, you don't hate that from an opening strategy perspective, and yeah, it's a comfortable in game, which I don't mind. It's not the fireworks you may be hoping. Maybe for a nice sleep session, it's for some relaxing chess to watch. It's not bad at all. So. Yeah, so white's actually given up the e-file now, and yeah, it's giving black chances here. White just kind of sitting around eventually, and you slip up, or you want to keep some life in the position, and all of a sudden black is up a pawn. And it's an outside passer, so I think this game is a really good demonstration of the French exchange and why players with black that have, you play this a lot as black, you get the exchange variation a lot, and you learn these types of structures, you learn the strategy, and white might get bored, or they might think that it's just a dead draw, and then you're outmaneuvering them the whole time, and you get to this kind of position where all of a sudden you're up a pawn and you're looking great. So yeah, really good textbook game here. So, yep, black is going to win the whole king side, and that's going to be the game. Really nice game there. Really enjoyed that. All right, so rematch. And we're getting Sicilian-ish. Well, not Sicilian. We're getting a Benoni. And it's a modern Benoni. And yep, this F4 line is, I think, commonly thought as the best, most aggressive, and borderline even. I think, yeah, it's, it really calls into question, I think, the modern Benoni as an effective weapon for black. Like, objectively, this type of setup for white is very strong, and white has a great advantage out of the opening. Personally, I always struggled playing the system because I don't like it gets sharp, obviously, with the F pawn with F4 here. Black, yeah, especially in blitz, I mean, it's perfectly valid opening, but I think, again, a GM, this is like how you see how this opening is supposed to be played. Just watch a very strong player play this. If you want to see how you destroy how you destroy Benoni, just take a look at what's about to happen. This is the Benoni weakness on d6, so that pawn's eventually going to be targeted. You could see that a knight on c4 would be tremendous to pressurize this pawn, and if you had the pawn on a5, it's never being dislodged. So a strategy you'll see often is the knight coming to d2 and to c4. Not happening with the pin, and white can trade it off if h3. Black can trade it off if h3. I'm not sure if we'll see that, but alright. Sorry, we're behind a few moves. Yep, and that's why black traded, so that knight never gets to c4. So now, catching up on the move. Sorry, I thought we were live there. Black is trying for counterplay on the queen side. Black, of course, or white has the central advantage. White's actually down a pawn all of a sudden. Not sure. Here we are live. Yeah, this is interesting. Yeah, giving up that pawn is not part of the game plan usually. So, yeah, things do not go according to plan for white there. It's still, I mean, we've got attacking potential. These pieces are all... Oop. Oh, there we got an arrow. Okay. Oop. Yeah, we got some arrow action now. These pieces can come to life on the king side really quick. And I think we're actually going to want to see that if white's going to come back. This is a long-term, I mean, obviously up the pawn. Long-term black strategically winning. The question is, can white drum up counterplay in the meantime? And again, the bishop pair is going to be a big part of that, so black wants white to have to babysit the c pawn and not get his own attack going. Question is this pawn overextended? I was wondering about rook d1 there to kick the queen. Yeah, now that the queen isn't watching the pawn. Bishop b6. To me, that just feels a little off. I mean, now that you can't push the... Oop, dropped my phone there, sorry. You can't push the d pawn now. You can't get the rook behind the pawn. Oh. Yeah, queen overloaded there. Just a simple tactic there. Can't take. Opening the f-file comes with some risk, as we see now, but nice move from black. There's better, but it makes sense because you don't want the exchange sack here potentially. Yeah, queen takes here, bishop comes. Sorry, I'm terrible at these arrows. Bishop comes and you're potentially coordinating there on g7. So, what do we have here? And you might hear my dog. Apologies about that. Yeah, white is great pressure here, and this pawn is really under lock and key and could easily be lost. All of a sudden we have the fork, and that's about it. But white had fought back here. Oh, that was a... So, okay. White won the exchange, black gets it back. So now it's 2 pawns up for black, and... Let's see. Yep, counterplay though. White is coming in here. Both low on time, getting low on time. Black's about to flag as well. Nicely played by white, and all of a sudden white's back in. It's tough going back and forth between the increment and the not, because sometimes I forget if we're looking at increment here. So obviously white wins on time here. Yeah, interesting game. Let's watch this pair for one more. I'm gonna wrap it up at about that 1 hour mark. So we might watch one or two more games after this one, but let's watch one more from these two. Goes back to the opening. Get the French again. This D3 system I can recommend for white. As a black player of the French, I always found it very annoying. Yeah, we get a King's Indian. It transposes to a King's Indian attack, which a lot of black players at the lower level are not really ready to deal with appropriately. Black's usually going for queenside expansion. And again, on the lower levels, you don't always see them. You don't always see players really getting that plan going correctly. So, yeah, these knights are putting pressure on e5. Whoa. Just like that, all of a sudden, white is, yeah. A lot of this knight is just jumping in, and what does black have to show for this maneuver? If you grab here, you're on c5. So why not? Yep. Yeah, you gotta move it. And just like that, white is a clean pawn up. After what we saw in the last game, I'm still really liking Alexander to win this game. With the clock advantage, I think he's going to maintain that clock advantage. And yeah, we saw him claw his way back in the last game. So not hitting the panic button. Sometimes I think as chess players, we hit the panic button a little too soon. We lose a piece or something, and we forget that we may have compensation. We might have a clock advantage. And we forget that there are ways to get back in. Now, you can't take that with the king because this queen is falling. So that was another... Yep. Another nice tactical find by white. So, now do I think Alexander's still going to win this? It's 40 seconds in a 3-minute game. I'm going to say yes. White, he is just really being a little greedy. You see that sometimes in blitz and bullet and stuff, even high level, low level. You get an advantage, you take a little time to, taking time on the clock to figure out how best to consolidate that advantage. And yeah, you burn through your clock, and all of a sudden you're doubled up on the clock, nearly doubled up on the clock. And it's a bullet game all of a sudden for Edegem. He's he's got to put this away, and it's not happening quickly, and he's taking, yeah, that knight was aggressively placed. Now this pawn is going to be potentially falling. Knight f8 to defend the pawn to then knight to e6. Is that a problem? Ooh, no. Yeah, when I go back, I keep forgetting to keep us current on the moves here. Interesting. And just like that, simplifying for white. This knight is a huge problem with the forks that are and this king just wide open. This rook coming in, but the clock. I still like Alex here with the clock. Yeah, I'm not sure about this move. The queen is not in great position to defend now. Ooh. Yeah, see, the rook was always eventually going to come in and be a huge menace here. Rook c7, and then the queen attacking on this diagonal. That's the game plan. Black just needs to survive on the clock. Yeah, can he just avoid getting mated for 16 seconds? That's the real question. Mate in 4. I think he will find it. Oh, he doesn't find it. Oh, no, it wasn't taking. Ah. Mate. There you go. But he didn't do that. Sorry guys, I'm struggling to get us back live there. Well, that's a newbie streamer problem for you. I'll have to double check how we get back to live there. I just wanted to look at that mate real quick, but I should have gone back after it was done. So technical difficulties, my bad. Let's wrap it up one more time, or let's wrap it up with this last game. Watch these two play one more time, and then we'll call it quits for the evening. So, we get the Benoni again, and this time an early h3, so that this knight maneuver is going to happen. Yeah, just king f2 now. It's actually better to be up here to support the pawns. Don't need a castle there. If he takes there, yeah, bishop takes, rook takes was the idea. So, yeah, still expecting to eventually see this knight wanting to come over and win this pawn. In the meantime, black does have pressure though, so white can't do it too quickly. So attacking on h3. Yeah, just g4. Knight moves and well, no, you're not covering. So yeah, f5. And you're not worried about this knight. This knight has no... These squares are covered. So, knight here... Oh, but yeah. Just pushing the black pieces all the way back first. He takes it, but yeah. If you trade it off, you're always winning this pawn. So it's a clean pawn now. That was a nice little sequence. Yeah, sometimes, black attacked white on h3, but sometimes, again, that g4 response, that was attacking and defending. Because it was also just accelerating this pawn storm for white, and now all of a sudden, White has all this pressure, and this pawn is also going to fall, probably, for too long. I'm really surprised he didn't take that pawn. Didn't just win the knight, or take the knight and then win the pawn. That was really surprising, because now knight here is a good defensive piece, isn't it? Or first just attack here. There's actually no way to defend this, is that, yeah, this pawn is falling. Maybe that was the idea the whole time. I thought maybe knight here to defend this pawn and just generally block the position, but yeah, why not just win the pawn? This pawn will be weak. Yeah. Again, edge really not managing his clock the best, and yeah, it's still going to be a big problem in the end. Even with black winning the pawn and now objectively being better. Ooh, yeah, queen can't come in, that's the idea. Queen would love to come in, but it's pinned. So, you don't really... do you take here? You know, I'd be thinking about, yeah, take and then just win this pawn. But first you can hit, yeah. Ooh. Bishop comes in, but yeah, see, bishop's defending, and now you're winning here. Yeah, so that maneuver didn't go very well. But the rooks are going to come in now for black. And this pawn isn't getting home anytime soon. This bishop is going to do a good job of keeping d7 under lock and key, for instance. So this pawn is going to live. And now you've got rooks on the 7th, and you're threatening d7, or sorry, d2, rook e1. White can't interpose. Do you have to give up the... Can you give up the exchange here? Is there something else other than giving up the exchange? Then you can't play rook e1. After that without losing d2? No. That works. Really nice game. Good to see black get one, I think. Well, it was a nice win, like, on the board. Looking at the clock, black's probably going to flag, but it was good to see the position still nicely converted. He's going to have to pre-move every single move here, which he's not doing. So yeah, as predicted, it's all about the clock, but it was a nice game from white. If he can just accelerate on the clock a little bit more, we'll see. He'll be in good shape going forward. Alright guys, so we're past the 1 hour mark, so I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks for watching. Again, if you could, just leave a comment. Let me know what kind of channel or what kind of content you like to see on the channel going forward. You know, do you like watching Blitz? You know, you want to see slower, you want to see faster, you know, bullet, rapid. You know, do you want to see me play games? Do you want me to keep kind of commentating on other games? Just let me know. Let me know your general thoughts. I'd appreciate it, and I'll